Does your child say wabbit instead of rabbit? Sun instead of sun? Women instead of lemon? You try to correct them, but they're still not getting certain sounds correct. You are not alone. These are, in fact, the top 3 sounds that children struggle with in pronunciation during their early developmental years. And with right techniques like tongue positioning, movement based prompts, we can help your child with the correct pronunciation. Let's start first with the S sound. Now the lisp or the S error occurs because when a child tries to produce the S sound, they would either push their tongue a little too forward to say S. That sounds like a sound. Now the correct placement for the S sound is just behind the teeth. Children love animals and use that to teach your child. Use the snake game and you can teach your child about first the placement. So that is, we are going to act like our tongue is the snake. So we are going to go slither, slither, slither on the palate. I'm going to show your child. Slithering the tongue across the roof of the mouth. So let them feel the hard palate or the roof of the mouth. And then the second part of the cue is to ask them to close their teeth. So we don't want an open mouth for sir. We're going to close the teeth and then we're going to say, once we slither, slither, slither the snake, and then you say with the tongue at the back. Now once your child understands the tongue placement, you can then practice with words. Now the second R sound is a bit tricky because it varies by language. For example, in Tamil and other Indian languages, the R is actually said as a R with a retroflex, a strong R. But in English and in a lot of Western slangs, the R is not pronounced so strong. It's more of a R sound. So it's called a bunched R. So the R sound depends on your language. But regardless, here is a nice technique that you can use to teach the R sound because it all involves the tongue movement. So for the retroflex R, that is a strong R, the tongue lifts and goes at the center in the roof of the mouth. So it goes over here. Even in English, some of the sounds have a retroflex R, but most of the words have a bunched R. So for that, the back of the tongue actually goes and touches the back of the mouth like It's not actually a full R, even though it's written like a R. Now the R sound is usually replaced with the W sound by children. Because W is a very easy placement of sound because there's not much movement. You just purse your lips for the W sound. So children try to use that for the difficult sounds. So to teach the R sound, you're going to take a small aeroplane and you're going to teach your child that the aeroplane is on the ground and it's going to lift off. The aeroplane is on the ground and it's going to lift off. And when they lift, R is similar to S, but it is produced slightly behind. S is produced just behind the teeth and R is produced a little over here. This is called the alveolar ridge. You will feel a small ridge at the back of your teeth. So that's where you need to place your tongue for R. We are going to teach your child that we are going to lift off. So how you're going to do is you're going to have the aeroplane toy and you're going to say and you can also just do that for but that is a bit difficult for children. It's okay. Even if they can get the placement right, that is great. Now you just start with the sound. Red, rabbit, rocket. The L sound is also produced by placing the tongue at the alveolar ridge or the small ridge at the back of your teeth. Over here. For this sound, you can use a lemon and you can teach your child to almost bring their tongue to the front like they're touching the lemon. So lemon, lemon. I know right now we're bringing the tongue too forward, but once you take away the toy, they are going to slowly put it in the most comfortable position behind their teeth, lemon. And slowly, so you're going to use these props and teach the position first and then practice with a bunch of words. Today we learned the s, r and the l sound using a bunch of props and correct tongue placement. Next, you are going to practice these sounds with your child in a burst of 2 to 5 minutes, not for a long duration throughout the day. Every time your child attempts the correct sound, don't forget to reinforce them or appreciate them. Here, I have to tell you that each sound can have more than one techniques to teach, and certain techniques work well for certain children. So I have demonstrated one of the most commonly used and most effective techniques. But if this doesn't work for your child, don't be disheartened. You can always go to a speech therapist, have a proper assessment, and learn how the sounds are taught. We also provide online therapy for children and home plans for parents. So you can also text us on WhatsApp for the same.